Yes.
Okay. Tell us when you're ready, Rich.
Just get there. Setting up the meeting for YouTube.
Before you go live,
It's about to, so, and it's already live on Zoom,
okay.
so don't say anything.
Swim, I don't mind. Just don't do YouTube yet. Just wanted to mention, I'm going to
YouTube's a second away.
Florida on Tuesday for my father having knee surgery. I'll be back the following Monday before our Tuesday annual meeting. Haven't figured out if I'm taking my computer or just my iPad, what I'm gonna do, but if I'm slow to respond, it's just because I'm doing elder care stuff.
And we are live.
Let's convene our April 15th board meeting. I hope everybody filed an extension, if not, that's returned that day. Let's start with our consent calendar. Celia circulated minutes on the BAIP report. Ethan circulated a treasurer's report. I didn't see a CABID report. Did anybody else?
I was hoping to, and I didn't.
Okay, so we'll see if Michael comes and has anything to say.
I asked Michael to send it if he couldn't come.
Okay. I'm checking my email. And I don't see anything new from Michael. Does anybody have any questions, comments, suggestions regarding those three documents?
I do have two changes for the minutes. Peter asked me to change the fifth paragraph under annual meeting to read as it's the one about we care and the slideshow. It will now say to familiarize the audience with the many areas that the Block Association works. Peter offered to help create a slideshow of images under the theme we care about, depicting areas we are active in, from spring plantings to winter solstice singing and many things in between. And I feel I need to make a change in the section on tax status. The second paragraph, I referred to 401c4s as general welfare organizations. That's not the term that the accountants and the IRS use. The term they use is social welfare organizations. So I'd like to change that.
Okay. No objections to any of those changes. Anybody else? Okay. Somebody like to, what, do you have a, something? This is Eliza Lansdowne. Can you send a Zoom link to a phone number?
Yes. For a phone number or for the Zoom?
To log into the Zoom that we're doing.
But
right
is she calling in or is she logging in by?
Zooming, Zoom.
Okay,
Let's save that number.
yeah, that's.
Live. Excuse me, Gary.
Yeah, sure.
You know, can I move to accept the
Thank you.
consent calendar?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, didn't go. Yeah. Recite Carl's Society.
Not good.
Great.
Yep. Who's on Zoom at this point?
No one.
That's Eliza who runs the spring planting, so let's see if we want to hurry. Okay, so I wasn't paying attention. We moved, we're moving on. Okay, good. Old business, annual meeting planning. I circulated a draft agenda and a slate. Is anything missing from the agenda? Okay. Are there any changes to the slate? I have a note about the slate, which is that Gary has agreed to run again, but would like to put an exit strategy in place. That as soon as we can find someone to replace him, he will exit and the new person will enter. Gary's responsibilities are picking up the mail from the PO box, depositing the checks, and taking care of that kind of, regular paperwork, pay the bills. He also draws up our annual budget, but it does not include all of the database record keeping, which gets passed to the code treasurer to be performed. So if anybody knows anyone who has, it's not, I don't think it's very complicated accounting stuff,
No,
but it's
but it is,
basic.
it's constant, so it needs somebody
Who's around.
who's around, and I just say a minute or two. I mean, I've enjoyed every minute of doing that over the last 5 years, 4 years, or whatever it is, this is not out of a feeling that I dislike anything that's been done. I've enjoyed being part of this board. I did have my 84th birthday last week, and
Happy
that
birthday.
actually made a difference to me, and I have just a lot of things that I want to get done over the next few years, and a lot of them are going to take me to places other than being here, and so I think it's just not possible for me to continue to be here at least twice a month for working on these kinds of things, and let's find somebody else.
Is that stepping off the board or stepping out of being treasurer?
Well, being here for all the board meetings is an issue, because I'm going to be away in a couple of cases for over a month, and so they're going to be, and I actually, I'm happy to take on assignments of one kind or another, but I want to liberate myself from fixed dates that I have to be in.
We will be happy to have your participation in whatever way works for you. So, and we will miss it.
I miss all of you folks.
I hope not to miss you, because we'll still get to see you and do things. But grateful for the number of years you have invested and the help that you've given us to get some certain things done and be a stronger organization for it.
No, thank you.
So if anybody knows anybody who might like to take on, it's a fairly limited role. It's good for somebody who's around in the neighborhood. Not good for somebody with mobility challenges, because the post office box requires the steps in the post office. And a certain amount of support too. Right.
Yeah.
Banking, law, picture,
Well,
banking.
actually, I did send a note to Ethan about it. Also said that, I think he should be thinking about whether there's a chance to now sort of change the way that we do business on all of these things. For example, I think there are a variety of digital adopting that would shorten the amount of time spent on working with all those checks and other kinds of things, and maybe we should also be thinking again about the question of getting more people to simply submit their resources through Zelly or through other sources, so that there just doesn't require that much work and working on. But this is the time, it seems to me, to think about all those.
Yes.
kinds of changes.
I don't think tonight's meeting is the time to dive into them,
No.
but I made a note for the May agenda. That would be a good time to start thinking about how to streamline further. In my email earlier, I asked Peter to please confirm what he has in mind for Andrew, whose name I don't remember, who's executive director of the Broadway Mills Association, who he invited to the meeting, and also Elaine Karras, who's the director of the Circle, whom he's invited to the meeting.
Andrew, Genn.
Yes,
That's right.
Well, and is there a role for them or they're just invited?
I don't know, Peter hasn't clarified that yet. I don't know whether he wants to introduce them and that's it, or if he wants to give them speaking time, don't know. Have you gotten several? So Rich, when it's convenient for you, please create the Zoom link for the annual meeting. And I can email.
Yeah, I can do that now.
Many, but a few. I'm sorry, you go ahead.
I believe Peter wants him to talk because today he talked to him about stuff that it's good to be mentioned.
Absolutely, because we have plenty to do. And I'm up to a third 50-year resident who just emailed me this week. So we have our very own Celia Knight. And we have a woman named Martha Weisberg who lives in 300 Riverside. And Nancy White who lives in 865. I don't know. It's the third one. I'll be meeting with her tomorrow night to see what there is to say.
Nancy White does the cider when we go caroling.
And she's volunteered on other things too, I think. Yeah.
And is there help needed on the slideshow or what's it?
I think Peter's working with Ariana to get that done. I gave him some input about the order in which I thought the slides should be presented. Celia, am I correct that you agreed to sit at the check-in table?
Yes,
And Amy, do you sometimes do that?
I and Debbie too.
I'm happy to.
So.
So some combo.
And that reminds me, so what did you work with last year? Was it the back page of the newsletter to check people off? Yeah, I think so, but I had a list too,
Generated from where?
of members.
Oh, from the database.
It was. the
Right, Ethan had
database.
generated that.
So we
list.
need this,
Okay, so when Ethan was,
yeah,
um,
so then that'll be in hard copy. And there'll be a few copies of it, so. Yes, right.
and I'll bring those little.
Well, I think Ethan could
placards.
just spit out an alphabetical.
Right.
list of the
I think that's what he did last year.
Yeah. And then
The sign up sheets.
I'll bring the table materials. Oh, thank you.
Love animal. Last time we handed out those buckets.
Yeah, we don't have any buckets anymore. They're not supplying them anymore. Been looking everywhere.
Was it Peter who interacted with the 24th precinct to get them to agree to speak?
Yes,
I think
Okay, so I'm gonna
I think I
remind,
was copied on the minutes.
okay. There's no question, I just would
Okay.
like him to confirm, remind, check in with them. And who was in charge of the Marseille, who's securing the room?
That was Peter Wilson.
Also
Peter,
Peter?
that was aware.
Alright, so both of those things need to happen. Ask Peter if he would like to take care of those emails. What else? Oh, we
How
need to
long,
agree
what's the
on,
duration of the meeting?
I think we should do it in no more than an hour and a half. Seems
I'll
like
call it 2 hours in
plenty to me.
Zoom.
From when to when?
I think I'm supposed.
We said 6 o'clock.
PM.
Yeah.
We don't serve water or snacks.
No.
If I do I'm thinking of doing simply a list of things we spent money on and how much we got in money coming in. What should I do them in? What you want them on PowerPoint or do you want them on what do you want them on?
I mean, if it's a nice PowerPoint, it's great, because we can just share the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
For the Zoom, I'm gonna make it that people have to be registered on Zoom to have a Zoom account to be able to log in. If they don't, they can go to the YouTube live stream. It's a security feature, especially because we're gonna be publicizing Zoom so that if people see the link online,
We've told people to email us
Oh, we are,
if they
okay.
want the Zoom link.
do we want to make it registration required or not?
Have we done that in the past?
I usually do it because it's a good practice. They just have to set up a Zoom account, which most people have. I can't imagine people have downloaded Zoom but don't have an account.
I didn't even know you could log into a Zoom if you didn't have an account.
Yeah,
And then the slideshow is gonna be given to Rich. So that's.
I don't know what Peter's plan is for that. I would imagine so that it can be projected, or
Right.
Peter will have it on some device that can be connected with the projector. And I will confirm with Peter the order so that the slides and the remarks match up.
So it starts at 6, I can be there by 5:30 or so. And start setting up,
Not to set up the chairs.
yeah.
Okay, so everybody who's available at 5:30, please come over to help with setup. We need to agree on a time limit for if we want to entertain questions, comments. 30 seconds, a minute. Oh. 2 minutes.
Not 2 minutes.
I think a minute's fine.
I think if we really want people to use the time to ask a question and then let our speakers answer the questions, it doesn't take that long to formulate the question.
Right.
Minute?
Minutes.
Okay, I will bring a stopwatch. Or I can use the one on my phone, whatever. Or Rich, we talked about this last time, is managing the screen stuff enough of a job for you, or can you also
I can-
manage stopwatch stuff?
I can manage time.
Taking it off my list. All right, any more annual meeting topics? Moving right along, longest table. Debbie, where you at?
Okay, longest table, there's a question mark on whether events can happen in New York City in the months of June and July during the World Cup activities.
Yeah.
So it is, a strong message has come from the police commissioner, and it's gone to SAPO of no new events.
But that's not a new event.
And so it's just a question because there's a few factors. There's at least 3 or 4 other Upper West Side street block associations that want to do a longest table in the next couple months. They're gonna be shut down, I'm pretty sure. It may just be that we'll have more people. If they get wind of it, they would like to see what that looks like. So I just raised that. But back to Michael Gonzalez, I keep waiting to get a confirmation from him. He seems optimistic because the words I've heard from both the longest table and from my own work, which does activations, which has had permits pulled, is if an annual event. If it's not an annual event, meaning it hasn't happened in the past and it's not recurring, then it's gonna be pulled, whether you already had permission or not, it's being pulled. So I just want to confirm it with Michael. The last time I did talk to him or email is all I've had in contact. I think you were on with the show. I think it's fine because it's annual. We can call our event an annual event.
Repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank goodness the bid is involved. Last year, I remember I think the official permit came like 2 weeks before the event. They just kept saying, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, which we didn't. And it's sort of, it's a matter of course, because they do so many events.
Right.
I think it was just a paperwork exercise for him. But I just raised that because it could come to be that if it's a problem, we'd have to not have it. I would suggest move to the fall. I think that would be.
So we're just gonna, unless we hear something different from Michael in the next week or so, we're gonna go ahead with the registration.
Yep.
On April 20th.
April 20th, exactly.
And is it set up yet or?
No, that's my project for the weekend. So
Okay.
setting up an event, right? It's already designed. I think Rich, we have
Last time, I think.
yes, and I think I've updated it. So between us, I know that I can do it as well. I have the ball again. So setting that up and
And then I'll leave the link and I can send it to you.
perfect. And I'll give you any
Right,
assets, picture or huge for that.
yes. And then,
The thing that's missing that I don't have any updates on is if there's any sponsors. And I don't think we've gotten anywhere on that. So Michael was part of it, the outreach, and Terrence, and not Peter, and Terrence. I don't think there's been any movement on that, to be honest. So it would just be a matter of they won't be featured on this email blast, for example.
right, but maybe in a
Yeah,
later one, they go.
If somebody comes up, we'll absolutely put them on all communications.
Before you make it live, can I read it once?
No, of
Just make sure. And it'll link, I assume, to our website that has the FAQs and.
Yeah, and I'll just review those to see if there's any updates, but we have those from last year.
Yeah, and they were perfect.
Yeah, which I think are fine. And then my next step is to start a weekly call, right? And then I'll just be asking for volunteers, if anybody here wants to sit in on those. Peter has been great, and the bid, and Sedalia, I think is the name. Yeah, that's the core, like having Sedalia and Peter, because of his connection to the hostel and Marseille, it was helpful, as well as, what did I say, the bid? And so, yeah, and the bid. With that core group can get a lot done, and then it'll just be as I get volunteers, as they sign up.
And I forgot on the email I just sent out to put in the thing about the volunteers, but the next one.
Yeah, no worries, actually, I think that's just right. That was just to save the date.
Yeah,
So the next one will be an actual ask for volunteers and our
and
students.
like the big announcement. And you'll write something for the newsletter, or the June newsletter.
Yep.
That. Promotes it, so for sure, it'll be 2 weeks away.
And I'd love for it to just be mentioned at the annual meeting. I can have flyers and if that's helpful.
When will we find out if there's risk of cancel or
I actually don't have an answer to that,
is that a 24th precinct decision?
perhaps. I think it must be. It must be, because if you remember last year, they tried to move our time.
Yeah,
We're like, because why? And then you helped with a letter, and Peter and Celia and I showed up at a community board meeting, and it was no
Yeah.
problem. So I think it was because it needed to go through the piece.
So we're gonna see them on.
Yeah, they're coming.
Suck up to them.
Perfect, perfect. Well, I still remember going to the meeting last year. They were so happy to have good news. Right, not a complaint. Well, I'm happy to be present for that. I think that definitely helps. But I think we're on track, right? So the sending something out Monday, puts us 8 weeks out. And then we have a couple of, the annual meeting and another newsletter. And then it's gonna be starting to post signs literally. And I think it'll be good.
Thing of posting signs, I'm just gonna backtrack a little bit. I sent out the annual meeting flyer to people in the big buildings. I can print up a bunch of them to put in the townhouses. Anybody,
What form did that come in? I don't know that I saw it.
You don't have. to. No one put in.
the annual meeting one, not the longest table one.
Right.
They're building next to me, they have to distribute it yet.
Do you want to send it to me? I printed it.
Okay.
I
Um,
don't know that I've seen this in the 7 o'clock.
right, I only just sent it, maybe it was yesterday.
Oh.
Who's, today?
I was too.
Oh, I haven't been home.
All right, so shall I print some? Get my husband to walk around and put them in whatever townhouses have unlocked lobbies. Yes, do that,
Sure.
um,
Yeah, it's all enough.
And actually, I sent it around to my building already because one of the honorees lives in my building. And I plugged that. So maybe Celia's building can plug, but she was being honored, and I don't, which building is on the Zoom?
865. It's, I don't know, but Terrence might do that.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry to segue from along this table. When you are up to it, both Dan, I think his name is Dan Fong, who runs Super Nice Pizza,
Oh,
and Luciano, who runs Sal and Carmine's, would be very good candidates to do something in terms of discounted pizzas that you could use to feed the, Yeah.
That'd be great.
so when you're ready, I'll hook you up with Luciano. And I can also send an email to you and Dan, Phil, I wrote to him today.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Any other longest table topics?
No, I think I will keep you posted.
Please do. Thank you for doing this. Exciting event. Amy, Bloomingdale Bites.
okay, so, Steve Zirinsky and I have met a few times with Michael Gonzalez and Aaron at the bid. Talk about the next possible Bloomingdale Bites. The last meeting, they seemed very keen. Steve and I did, but the other two seemed very keen to do something in May. Maybe toward the end of May, and they were gonna check with the hostel whether they had space for it, or we could have a room there. Steve then said, I think his son is graduating college. Anyway, he said that May was not good for him, but maybe other people in his block association could come. I feel kind of that we've got a lot going on with the longest table and the spring planting and everything else. And to me, it's not an ideal time. I don't know if there are other people here who would want to get involved with it, or should I? Oh, and then the other thing is we haven't figured out a theme. But one idea they had was to ask Caitlin if she wanted to present her results from her survey about mom and pops. And I contacted her and she would not be ready to do that before the fall sometime. So I'm inclined, we're meeting again this Thursday. I'm inclined to kind of suggest that we move this to the fall. Unless anyone here feels strongly that we need again another neighborhood in the next 3 months. I mean, if longest table ends up being canceled, then it would seem like it'd be great to do it. And we could maybe plug it in June, but I don't want to commit us to too many things. So that's
Why hasn't it typically been in the fall?
it was in June once, it was in November once, and October once. And Steve doesn't love for it to be in the fall because they have their big yard sale in September. It takes a lot out of them. But
But it's also gonna be, the hostel's gonna be pretty packed with the,
in the summer,
in the summer because of the,
Right.
people coming over. for
right.
the-
But that's not till July, is it July?
It's the middle of June to middle
Oh,
of
okay.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's not probably all packed anyway, but in the
Yeah.
summer, but,
okay,
you could guess that a lot of
Summer's
Europeans are
not-
gonna be
not
looking for
packed.
cheap accommodations and,
I mean, usually for us, it's not a huge expenditure of time and we get some money out of it. Hetty often helps to go pick up the food, and then some others of us either serve food or sit at the door. Ethan usually comes and sits at the door. I guess if they had something very specific, like a theme that they were going to run with and it was all set up, I wouldn't feel as good. I'd feel a little like it's aimless.
Right, and because it's off newsletter cycle.
We
We
can't
can't
promote
publish
it.
it.
Right,
Okay.
okay, so that's what I could suggest. Maybe we'll get it moved to the fall and do it in October again, early October.
Oh, I understand the conflict with their yard sale in September, but conceivably, if we did it in October before it started to get dark early, around
And not
Columbus
support the
Day.
holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Security survey. Do we have Michael on the Zoom, Rich?
No one's on the Zoom.
Okay. So I guess we table that for May. Newsletter update. we're already starting to plan the summer issue. Our aim is to get it out a little on the early side, so we can publicize the longest table, assuming it goes ahead as planned. Amy just sent out a roster of articles and some deadlines for mid-May. So I think we're in good shape there. We had to order new envelopes for the last distribution, so that's covered for the next year. Maybe anything to,
Yeah,
right? Seems like we have a lot of copies.
yes. I mean, the inductees alone could be the whole issue.
It could be, you know, we may have to link to the
Yeah.
website bios rather than publish.
Right.
I just want you to know, in dropping off some of the newsletters, you know, sneaking into doors,
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
of course, I got some positive reactions. Oh, like, oh, great.
People like it.
Just want to pass that on.
They like it so much, maybe they could distribute it.
In fact, I will slide this in on the newsletter instead of as a separate announcement at the end. I got an email from a longtime resident named Kathy Ralph, who lives in 310 Riverside, who said, "Hi, Hetty, West Side Rag reminded us that yesterday was local news day." I didn't know. That was last week. I want to thank you for your decades-long commitment to publishing the Block Association newsletter. It really makes our blocks feel like a community. Whether we have time to attend programs or not, it means a lot to know what's going on and who our neighbors are. So then she asked me a question about ASIA, which I don't need to read out loud. I answered her. And she said, "Thanks for the information about ASIA. I'll look out for her. Even though we did not socialize in any formal way, it's amazing how close you can feel towards someone based on numerous sidewalk conversations over many decades. More proof of what a special community our neighborhood is." So that was lovely. Okay, any other newsletter related business? All right, CB7 cabinet.
Okay, I'm just gonna make this really brief.
Great. I like brief.
I don't know if you guys were aware, I was in the newsletter, but the CB7 is doing a security survey, they're asking people to chime in on what in the neighborhood makes them feel unsafe or anything like that. Anyway, this survey is gonna be open indefinitely, so I'm gonna put it again in the next newsletter, and if any of you haven't seen it and want to fill it out, I can send a link to it. And so far, the responses, not surprisingly, are mostly about e-bikes. And people on the street who need some kind of help with it, you know.
But one thing to note about it is the way that they worded the question was they said, "What are your biggest security concerns?" And they said, "E-bikes." They said, "Other traffic, cars, trucks, other." So,
Yes.
yeah. Do you think e-bikes are the only safety concern on the Upper West Side? Yes. No, just yes. So it's a flawed survey, and I question if we should even be promoting it.
Oh,
Or, I mean, I don't know if it matters, but
have you brought that up to anybody?
yeah.
Oh,
And it's the dynamics within CB7
yeah,
that there's like an offshoot public safety task force.
yes, that's who put this.
And they put this together with the goal of achieving a certain result.
Sounds like it's targeted for a
Yeah.
purpose.
But, I mean, I will say, when I talk to people, it is the biggest concern I hear from everybody. The e-bike thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Beyond anything. People are not even worried about crime, they're worried about your life.
Yeah, no, and the irony is that 98% of traffic serious injuries and deaths are cars.
It may be so, but people.
But 98% of the fear is e-bikes.
I think the most important thing that they ever discussed, I attended the past 2 days.
Oh.
The beach.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. But I think more concern that they mentioned in the meeting is that these people are not insured, they don't have any insurance, so when something happens, there's no solution and it's the person is by itself, so that's why people felt that it makes a huge difference between this and other type of coalition. The people, there is no way to make anyone responsible and
They're not
and
licensed.
the injured person would be by itself.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the issue I have with that is that a lot of the concern is with delivery people, and many of them are undocumented and have no assets. So the idea that they would go out and buy an insurance policy is farcical.
I don't, it's probably not the place to be.
Yeah.
But I would love sometime to talk to you.
I'll buy the coffee. Um. Is the Gail Brewer meeting part of this or something separate?
Oh, I have one more thing. I'll answer that in a second. And this would be for Eliza, but she's not on. She on?
I just sent her the link in her email, so I don't know if she's.
Well, I can say it here.
No one else is on.
I can email her, but apparently one of the block associations has access to free tree guards if we need any.
Oh, yes, please. We talked about it. Is the lady, the one that lives in the building at the corner?
She's a
I'll bet
different
that.
block association. She's at
Oh,
76th Street.
Because last time that we did it, Peter talked with someone in that building. And then they were talking about if we would have something around the Marseille, that would make a huge difference. And then also would encourage people to not.
Okay, so
Throw
when I
garbage there.
get the information, should I forward it to you and Peter?
Yeah,
And
sure.
Eliza too.
Yeah,
It's Eliza, but she's
Yeah.
in the corner building 103 in West End.
Yes, yes.
Southeast.
Yes,
Yeah, she's the one who runs the spring planting.
yes.
Okay, so I will.
Okay. Incidentally, spring planting is not on our agenda, but it should be noted. It is coming up on Saturday, May 16th. It's in our upcoming events, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's an article about it on page 3. Anybody who's free, please go and lend a hand. Eliza asked me, Debbie, if she was remembering your name correctly, so you may hear from her directly. She remembered that you helped last year.
I'm gonna be out of town that weekend, but I would like to give the table stuff to somebody. So if anyone here is gonna be there, let me know.
Oh, May 16?
Yeah,
I will not.
oh,
I will be here. Well,
okay, so I can arrange for you. Okay.
And
Or you come
Eliza
and pick it
said,
up.
Eliza said that, Michael and Rochelle Stearns are likely to come. And they will be bringing a table, so I don't know if they can carry 2 tables.
Oh, it's not a table, it's the banner, the
sign-up.
sign-up sheets, the donation
Sign-up
jar.
sheets.
Yeah,
That's
the usual stuff.
Oh.
And I usually just come out and drop it there, but I didn't be around to do that. So if I can get it to you, that would be great. Okay. And the Guild Brew thing is not.
This topic, so it's separate.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything more to say about the cabinet?
No.
Shared street update would be Peter, but he's not here. Does anybody know anything on his behalf? All right.
We did it today again, everything went well.
Good.
Enough people showed up. We had like 2 or 3 volunteers from the neighbors. That's very good that when neighbors come.
And you said Andrew Jen of the BMA was there.
Yes. And we had lemonade.
What a gorgeous.
As
day.
one. Peter's birthday.
Okay. I am going to skip, what is his birthday actually today?
Yesterday.
Send him a note. Everybody should send him a note.
We spent it in TV7.
Okay, I'm going to skip the next 3 items for now. Because they all involve Ethan, who is not here to speak on his own behalf, so we'll circle back to those. If and when he shows up or at the end of the meeting, whichever comes first. D&O insurance. I randomly got an email from a woman who's an insurance broker. Who said she does a lot of stuff for block associations and bids and things like that, and if she could help us at all, she'd be happy to. And I had a talk with her last week. She lives in Astoria. It's a local family owned and operated insurance agency. And she came up with a quote for us that includes general liability for events as well as directors and officers for $1,960.63 for 1 year. Standard 1 million per occurrence and 2 million aggregate limit, while the directors and officers has 1 million with $1,000 retention. The cost to include the events on a blanket basis is just $100 of the total, which is more cost effective than scheduling them out and having a policy for each event, which usually starts at 200 to 250 per event. I then went back to the last quote that we got, which was 2 years ago, and emailed with the guy. Because obviously we can't use the quote that we received 2 years ago to buy a policy from them now. It was from Access Insurance Company at the time. It was total just under $4,000 a year, so considerably more. And the name of the guy, Rich, that you gave to me, I've been emailing with him, and basically it's too small a thing that there was no point in redoing the application and getting a new quote because they wouldn't cover it.
Yeah.
And could we include some buildings or this and that, but no, that's not what we do, so. So, go ahead. give me-
What's the agency that they're gonna use, first one that you got?
He doesn't say. I certainly can ask.
Yeah. That's.
When you say $1,000 retention, is that what is deductible?
I believe that's what that means.
So,
I'll check.
Ms. DeVito, there's some block association on 69th Street or 68th Street had reached out to me and asked me what progress we had made on this, and I said, not much, and then it was, and she was about to do a lot of research, so I'd like to go back to her and see if she's gotten any quotes and see how they compare with this,
Excellent.
and then I'll let you know.
For as much as I'd like to get this done, and my temptation is to say, fine, let's just do it. It doesn't seem like the prudent way to go about doing this.
I can get back to you in like a week or two.
So we are making a little headway on that.
I think it's important to have that if we can. for
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Time for these events that we're gonna
Yeah.
be running into.
Amy, tell me again the name of the person you just mentioned,
Liz DeVito,
and she's what?
she's in one of the block associations in the high 60s, low 70s. It might be 68.
Okay. Moving ahead. New business, Gail Brewer City Council panel. We received an invitation from Gail Brewer. I say city council, she's community board.
No,
No,
city
council.
council,
Okay.
she's doing it with the coalition of community boards.
Is it the coalition of the West Side Block Association?
It was actually her idea, and she asked them to kind of organize people.
Right, they're doing a panel having to do with block associations generally, and they've invited a whole bunch of different block associations. And have asked each one to speak on a different topic. And they are interested in having us speak about the longest table, because we've done the longest table. And regrettably, neither Amy nor Debbie is available. I think it would be great if you were available because you're the expert, but
And it's her birthday.
it's your birthday. And that's not what I would want to do on my birthday either. So I have agreed to do this. And Debbie, I think you agreed to set me up with like a little fact sheet.
No problem.
So that when I'm asked questions about it, I'll be able to speak specifically as well as general. It's on April the 30th, just after our annual meeting. Anybody can attend it. I don't know if they're zooming it also, but it is an in-person event. That's what I'll be doing on Debbie's birthday. Thank you for doing that. All right. Next topic, merchandise. I had reminded you all to have a look at an email that Celia sent around in April a year ago, talking about different stuff that we could circulate ourselves if we wanted to let you. I haven't. But we would like to purchase something so that we could sell it at the longest table, sell it at Bloomingdale Bites. Have it available as a prize at a premium. But we need to decide what we want so that we can go and get some prices on it. So, did anybody have a look at Celia's list? I have it before me. She was thinking outside the box. And obviously, we could stick with something ordinary, like a T-shirt or the bags, the blue bags with our logo that people can use for groceries. But her list included clipboards, coasters, cutting boards, puppy bowl, like a little water dish, food dish for a pet, earrings, erasers, eyeglass cases, folders, headbands, key fobs, lanyards, a large pouch with a strap, a low-tech fan, a paperweight, a pot holder, a spray bottle, a towel, a visor, a water bottle, Street Love collectibles. So it could be stuff that people would wear when doing the Street Love stuff, like cat gloves, the vest, the bucket, and watering can. Anybody have any thoughts on, let's pick 3 things and get pricing?
I haven't thought, I like the idea of things in the neighborhood, showing up in the neighborhood, so I love a bag. Because it's just, you see it, in other words, it's a connector. For people to see it like, oh, conversation start or anything like that. So I like that a lot, and then.
A tote like with a wide bottom, so you could use it for
For
groceries.
sure, it's super useful and it's visible and neighborhood, it's out and about in the neighborhood, I think of the same for visor or hat. So those are the first 2 that come to mind.
So one other that we might consider is umbrellas.
Oh,
It has the same thing of it's visible. We could have like our logo and maybe say we've got you covered or. And it's something that people use, like to have and lose and replace. So there's more turnover and it's unisex, unisize.
And then the key is to make it sturdy enough, but not too expensive, right?
Yeah,
Are you thinking the mini size or the golf umbrella size?
mini, because someone's gonna have to store them.
Right.
And carry it.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Oh, right.
Any other thoughts, what we should get pricing on?
Pens, I really love that.
Do people still use them other than me? No?
Yes. At this table, love
Yes.
that.
Okay,
Put Chase out of business. Every time I go there, I leave it.
Like the key fobs also.
I actually was without a pen on the subway the other day, and I really wanted to have a pen because I was looking forward to sitting down with a crossword puzzle. I was on the railroad. I didn't have a pen, and I always have a pen, but I didn't have a pen. And I stopped at a newsstand on the platform, the subway platform at Penn Station. I said, "Do you sell pens?" He's had a pen. I don't know if it was his pen or if it was someone's pen. He didn't really care. I saw him scribble it. He showed me the piece of paper to show me that it worked, and he charged me $2 for it. It seemed excessive because it was your basic stick pen. It wasn't even a ballpoint, but I was so glad to have it. I did not care. How does anybody feel about the little like nylon tote bags that fold up really small and you can throw them in your
Yes.
bed? Yeah.
Those are great, super.
All right. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ideas. I will get pricing from the guy we used before.
And it would be our usual logo.
Of course, it's a
What
beautiful
colors?
logo. What colors? It depends on what he has and what we choose. To be determined. All right, let's keep going. We're on such a roll tonight. Letter to building residents. Years ago, I had formulated a letter to send to my neighbors. Basically urging them to contribute and to volunteer. I was talking with a woman who used to be our newsletter distributor in one of the buildings who went on a little bit of a rant about how she's the only one in her building who ever contributes and she just doesn't get it and blah, 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 and maybe she should send a letter to her neighbors. I said, gee, if you want to do that, that would be great. And in fact, I'll send you a template that I've used that you can customize as you see fit. So I sent it to her. She's looking it over. She hasn't gotten back to me. She was caught up in getting her taxes filed. But it occurred to me two things. A, if anybody on the board would like to do that in their buildings, I'm happy to make this letter available to you and you can customize it as you see fit for your particular building and neighbors. And I mentioned to Amy that I was thinking, do we want to publicize in the newsletter next time that this is available in case anybody in the neighborhood would want to do that? And Amy's response was,
I thought it was a great letter.
but you had thoughts about whether to circulate.
I kind of feel like it should be building reps who circulate it, not just general
Random.
public, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but
I think it probably should be done when the newsletter is delivered at some point rather than separate.
Mhm.
that's
So just, put it on
one unit
one,
or one time.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, actually, one thing that I've learned in cashing checks and doing all that sort of stuff is that I think, I haven't done the numbers, but I think a very large fraction of our support comes from a small number of buildings that are on Riverside Drive. On that stretch across there, believe it or not. And I think if you look at the lists,
yeah, well, I know our building is a lot.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I was feeling about our building, which, there are only half a dozen or so people in our building. There are only 50 people in 50 units in the building, but I wouldn't guess that more than,
We've got 7 in this issue.
yeah, it's sort of that.
Well, Broadmoor has a fair number, but given how big it is, it's a fairly small
400
percentage.
units in that building.
Mm.
That's
And 875 traditionally has a lot. It's also a big building. But yeah, we will have to at some point address doing promotions in building lobbies.
yeah.
That's not tonight. Yes. Get through our annual meeting and our upcoming events and focus on that soon. So let's not publicize it in the newsletter, at least for now, but make the building reps aware that we have this thing if they were inclined to distribute with the next newsletter.
Yeah.
One suggestion, and apart from that, let me ask that, what if we ask the lady who emailed you, and then if she's okay, include her email, your response to her and her response to you as a part of the newspaper?
Like a letter to the editor. That would be a way to make it known.
That like people can communicate and like,
Mhm.
this is
I'll
how
check with her.
the newspaper connects with people.
Well, that's nice.
I can ask her if she's willing. And we can also ask the distributors. Like, let's say when we distribute the summer issue, we can put in a note to each distributor saying, we have a letter. If you would like it, please email and we'll provide it to you so you can distribute it when you do the newsletter. Yes?
Yes.
A sensible way to move forward. All right, circling back to the 3 items that I said we were tabling for now, letter to landlords, properties and building managers. Amy and I worked together to streamline the letter to make it fit on the page and include the language that we discussed in our last meeting about the recommended contribution per unit for buildings and sent it along to Ethan, who I think was working on finishing up the new database that he's creating in order to then do the mail merge thing that would need to happen with the letter and the invoice to go out to the buildings.
Oh, Ethan is on.
Oh, Ethan, you're here. I was also working on getting updated contact info for individual buildings, especially the big buildings, which I think is nearly complete. It may not be 100%. Is Ethan on? Yes.
He's on, he's muted.
Okay, so. Ethan, if you don't mind, unmute so you can tell us where we're at on that letter to the buildings about having them contribute.
Oh, Ethan,
That's. Um, No, Ethan? Maybe he's eating. Okay, so that's one thing we need to hear from Ethan about. Why don't I introduce each one of these three topics? Google Drive, I think everybody was included on the email correspondence about how the shared drive that had been created for us, not actually working the way it was meant to. And the one that Peter had originally created, also not working quite the way it was meant to, and that Ethan volunteered to figure it all out and make it work. So let's all thank Ethan when he is available to us. I just wanted to make an announcement of that tonight. Ethan had said that next month would be a better time to dive deep into what he had in mind for that, which makes good sense to me. Similarly, he's continuing to work on the member database upgrade. So we've got a lot of
Huge
admin stuff going on.
Big things, Pete.
Big dogs. Ethan, oh Ethan.
Hey, I'm here.
Yay. Thank you, Ethan, for all you've been doing
Oh
on
my
our behalf.
gosh, thank
So-
you.
so- Oh, yeah, my pleasure. Sorry if you called on me. I stepped around the corner for just a second, but I'm
That's
here.
okay. We figured you needed food and other life-sustaining things.
Food and water, yes.
Okay, so we were just talking about the three agenda items that had your name on them. I mentioned the Google Drive that we'll talk about it in greater depth next meeting, but you're willing to create us something that will actually function as we intended to.
Yep, absolutely. I just wanted to ask, for now, I'll put my own personal phone number as a backup for the account. And then next month, I heard you talk, Hetty, but I'll do a longer 10-minute talk about what we can do with Google Workspace if we want to go that direction.
quick question, Ethan. Can you use the Google Voice number as the phone number?
Yeah, you should be able to. Do we have one?
If we don't, we could set one up with the email address.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
advantage of that would be that you could forward texts to multiple people. So
Yeah.
that if you're using it for like two-factor verification, more than one person could get the text.
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't work unless Google puts some kind of restriction, but we can try it.
Mhm.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll take that on. I can set that up tomorrow.
Thank you so much for, I don't know if you heard before, everyone was thanking you for what you're doing.
My pleasure.
Lavishly.
My pleasure. I actually like this kind of stuff, so
Oh,
which I think most people find surprising. Yeah, this stuff is easy compared to I work for the MTA, trust me. It's dealing with I'm trying to think of a non-curse word, I just you can
As I was
This
walking
is
out the
easy.
door, my husband was panicking because he couldn't get into our Amazon account and he wanted to watch something.
No.
And he has no skills at all, zero. So I had to figure out why it wasn't working and get him logged on, and that to me filled up my quota of tech for the day.
Okay, so
So
you did the
I'm
hacking.
grateful to you, Ethan, for liking doing that stuff.
Sure.
How are we doing on the member database upgrade that you're working on?
I think it's in a good place. Haven't really done anything additional since last month, so I think we can take it off the agenda. It's just can always, of course, make additions over time if there's anything we want to
You need
add.
anything from us?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
We do want a printout for the annual meeting, if that's all right.
Remember last year you created a list of paid
Oh,
up members that we could use to control, that the people who were voting were actually paid up members,
Oh,
as
yeah.
our bylaws indicate.
Yes, I will look back and do the same. Let me put that in my
Okay.
numbers.
And we'll need that for Tuesday, the 28th.
You're gonna have little paddles?
I have those little plastic laminated things that I mentioned, yeah, it's on my list to bring. Okay, and the third item, Ethan, with your name on it, was that letter to the co-op boards and the building managers and all that. Where are we at on that?
I didn't know that I didn't realize I had another item on this. I know the database is set up with building contacts.
Okay, I
Um,
think that Amy and I sent you what we considered the final version of the cover letter.
Okay,
And then the next thing will be to create an invoice for each building according to the number of units
okay.
times, we said $7.50 or $7 or something. It's in the cover letter. And then it'll go to the recipient, whether by email or snail mail, depending on what sort of contact info we have for the building.
Okay, let me take a look for that.
And if you need a fresh copy of that, Amy and I can find it and send it to you.
Okay, thanks. I'm gonna look right now and I will let you know shortly.
While we're waiting for Ethan to look, Neosha had just asked me about the address of the April 30th Gale Brewer meeting, which is open to the public.
Powder Riverside? So.
593 Columbus Avenue, and it's from 6 to 7:30.
She also has a open house on 16, but then Peter told me that she's not covering our street anymore.
Right, she's not our person. Okay.
I don't want to hold the meeting up. You can continue if you want, and I'll let you know if I don't.
Okay.
I don't
Okay,
find it.
so you can circle back to us on that. I believe that we have covered all of our old and new business. There's nothing on the pending list. For the May or future agendas, I have 3 items teed up, talking about the Google Drive project. Talking about improvements that we can make in our donation system to streamline treasury functions. And lobby promotions for underperforming buildings. Are there?
Well, one of the longest table.
Well, yeah, that's all the regular stuff, just, new stuff that wouldn't.
Yeah, also, we should talk about our summer schedule.
Oh, we do need to make a decision about the August meeting. It doesn't have to be now, it could be in May. We're gonna need to decide whether we're not meeting in August as we usually do not. Or if for some reason we feel like we want to, so that when we publish the summer newsletter, we can.
I vote
know.
for not meeting in August.
Of course.
Second.
Third, fourth. Ethan, how do you feel about meeting in August?
In person in a dark room somewhere. No, I'm yeah, Zoom by all means. Yeah, yeah.
And then we'll up and do it as a Zoom moment. That's it.
I'm with all of you. Remote sounds good.
The dates of those meetings are. Now that we're on the third Tuesday, is that right? The 21st of July. And then the 18th of August.
We're not gonna.
So we're gonna not meet.
Wait, we have May. June.
Yes, we still have to do May and June. Before we get there, I'm just looking out. So we're not meeting in August. July could be Zoom only, or it could be in person or Zoom. Anybody have any strong feelings about that?
Go Zoom only.
Anybody opposed? Okay, July Zoom.
That's the 21st.
Ethan, I have you down for chairing in May. Would somebody like to volunteer to do June? Assuming that you're elected to the board when we meet later this month. We don't come here, we might be dropped off the- No, I'm thinking if somebody for some reason wasn't elected, then they couldn't be the chair. Do you feel ready to give it a try? Yeah. Oh. Dive right in the ears, so good for you. I promise nobody will yell at
One of the
you.
dates in May, and I want to check. Because in fact, I think one of the problems we had on this date was that somehow the message didn't get out to everybody that we were meeting on Wednesday this week. And so, give me the dates so I can get on my calendar at least.
All right, May, as far as I know, we're on the third Tuesday like we normally are.
Which
Right.
I'm not able to make.
Which Rich cannot make, so we'll need somebody else to do the tech magic. Maybe Ethan, you'll be able to do that for us.
I'm sorry, what month? I was just looking through the
May
emails.
19th.
May 19th, you're chairing, so it
Oh.
might be a lot for you to both chair and do the tech.
Oh, actually, I was gonna say the opposite. Not a problem because I'll be there in person.
Right.
So, yep, I'll do it.
Okay. June is the 16th. And you're sure you'll be chairing, and Rich, is that the other one that you couldn't make?
Yeah.
June? So Ethan, do you think for the June meeting, you could do the tech again?
June.
16th.
Yes.
Sure. Ethan, did you come up with any answers on that letter topic?
Yes, I found the email. Looking at the draft now.
It's enough for you to say you need to work on figuring out how to get it out.
Oh, yes, it's let me figure out how to get it out. Please.
Are we all comfortable with the timing of sending this letter, let's say in the next couple months before we get to summer doldrums, and rather than waiting till fall, I think
Oh,
we
yeah,
can
yeah.
start now
So
and then do a reminder in the fall if need be.
Yeah.
Okay. So would somebody like to make a motion that we close the public meeting and open the executive session?
I think you just did and I seconded it.
As chair, can the chair make those motions?
So why not?
I never know what the rules are, but that's stuff. Okay, so I'll move that we do that. Amy seconded. So you can